Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob as well.
And today we're talking about Focus Home Interactive, or Focus Home Entertainment. It is actually Focus Home Interactive, as far as I'm aware, but I think at one point they were called Focus Home Entertainment.
They just Focus Home.
Yeah.
That's it.
Let's just Focus Home. Which sounds wrong now that I say that out loud. Focus Home Interactive, I'm going to say it like that. FHI. Anyway.
Focus Home, I think that was Demon Seed.
We don't
give a horror reference for the win, yeah?
We don't talk about that. Anyway, Focus Home Interactive, they're a French indie video game publisher and developer. They started in 1996.
They're as old as that, wow.
Yeah, and one of their very first games that they released was Cycling Manager on PC in 2001.
Cycling Manager. But the reason we bring this up, it's effectively off the back of A Plague Tale, which is possibly the biggest announcement of a rival I've seen in a very, very long time.
Well, on the back of A Plague Tale, they've got 3 more big names coming out. Greedfall, The Surge 2.
Which I have been playing, and there'll be a review with a link up in the top corner now.
Yeah. The Surge 2 and World War Z, sorry.
Yeah, the first time I was really aware of them was with The Surge.
Was it The Surge or was it Technomancer?
No, Technomancer. Technomancer is from a company with a developer with the coolest name in the world. Spiders. So all their games are made by spiders, which is just such a cool way to sort of phrase who you are.
Yeah.
And what you're doing. And which was it's a great concept with kind of funky gameplay loops.
Yeah.
It was like a great sort of statement of intent.
See, I was aware of Focus Home Interactive a lot earlier than you, because I became aware of them because of a game called Chaos League back in 2003. It was developed by Cyanide Studios in 2000, and it was basically a game like Blood Bowl, and that's how I became aware of Focus Home Interactive. But I didn't really pay much attention to the actual publisher or the developer at the time, because you didn't really need to. It was 2003, and so Focus Home...
Back then, there was more publishers than you could ever hope to actually have.
Exactly. And Focus Home mainly did stuff like Cycling Manager and Virtual Skipper and Trackmania, Fire Department, Pro Rugby Manager, City Life, stuff like that. These were all kind of simulation games. And then in 2008, they took a left turn and did Dracula Origin, right? And then Sherlock Holmes games started making an appearance. But this was in amongst all of the sports management games, the Cycling Manager, the Rugby Manager, and stuff like that. But then they released like the city building game, Cities, and that was, I think, one of the big sellers for them, because it was like SimCity, but it wasn't. And then I think one of the big coups for them was releasing Divinity 2.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. They were a developer which...
Well,
they were just another indie... I mean, what they fundamentally do is they're a publisher. Sorry, they're a publisher who give chances to companies, like some really small independent companies, to sort of release something under their umbrella to have their sort of reach as a marketing thing and as outlet. There's many companies like that though, but this is one of the bigger scale ones.
Yeah. One of the interesting things is that Cyanide Studio, after making Chaos League, went on to actually make a Blood Bowl game. The Chaos edition of Blood Bowl was made by them. And they did other things. They had the Game of Thrones games in 2012, I think it was. But really, their Focus Home really started knocking it out of the park. I think it was around 2014, 2015, when they did like Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment, and they had Styx. The first Styx game came out, which was when they really started focusing in on pushing certain types of games, certain types of genres, especially for the thing PC.
Is, you know who they remind me of?
Who do they remind you of?
Ubisoft.
Yeah,
and I know the connotations of what that means now in today's world. Ubisoft, master of microtransactions.
You're talking about the early days of Ubisoft, aren't you?
Yeah, but Ubisoft, pre-current incarnation, were quite just a medium-sized business.
Yeah, who actually experimented a lot with the games that they were publishing and the games that they were developing themselves.
Yeah, so the era I'm thinking of is around about the time when they were releasing sort of Beyond Good and Evil. They were very medium-sized. They didn't rock the boat, but they were putting out a wave of really interesting games which nobody else would even consider putting out. And Focus Home Interactive, or Entertainment, or whatever they're called, that is basically what they are now. They're that medium-sized company, not rocking the boat, but they are doing something which nobody else would ever dare to do. And I know they do lots of stuff. I know the Surge does look good. I really like the Surge. It's what, out of all of the Dark Souls quotation marks rip-offs, that's probably one of my favourites because it's cyberpunk and just nasty. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But that and A Plague Tale, that's kind of like a bring it on gesture if ever I've seen it.
Well, I mean, other games where that weren't as big bring it on gestures, but were actually received very, very well by the people who played them. Stuff like Farming Simulator.
That's a bit different.
Yeah, it's a completely left field game, but you know how many people love those games?
No, actually, I don't.
A lot. A hell of a lot. And then you had all the
Why?
Warhammer games, because Warhammer is a massive franchise, isn't it?
As a tabletop, yeah, but not so much in the video game.
No, but that's the thing. The tabletop players play the video games. And so
Makes sense,
if
yeah.
it's the same with like the D&D players, they will play the D&D related video games like Baldur's Gate and stuff like that. So where with Focus Home having certain franchises like Mordheim and Space Hulk and stuff like that, that basically allows them to attract a much more diverse range of potential customers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go into the sort of the business approach of it because that's kind of dull, but I think a similar sort of company is Deep Silver as well.
Yeah, well, Koch Media, Deep Silver, yeah.
These companies which haven't not majorly big, but they're solid in the middle.
Well,
and a term which is, well, an industry aspect which is completely gone, which we'll talk about in a greater, more precise way in a future video, but AA games, these are the studios which do AA games.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? The last 3 years, since 2016, yeah? These are the games that have been just published by Focus Home Interactive. So you have Battlefleet Gothic Armada, which was a space simulation combat type thing, Farming Simulator 17, Seasons After Fall, which I think we reviewed. It's that indie platform game where you play the role of a little fox. And it was kind of like Ori and the Blind Forest, I suppose.
Yeah, I remember it, yeah. I reviewed that one.
Yeah, Space Hulk Deathwing, first-person shooter based on the Warhammer franchise. The Technomancer, which you reviewed. Shines the Lightning Kingdom. Shines the Lightning Kingdom, however you want to call it. Styx, Shards of Darkness. The Surge. Call of Cthulhu, the official video game. The Council. Farming Simulator 19. Fear the Wolves, Insurgency Sandstorm, Vampire, you know that one that just came out earlier this year?
It wasn't this year, but it was recently.
Oh, sorry, late last year, sorry, yeah, it was late last year. Plague Tale, Innocence, Greedfall, The Surge 2, and Surge 2 is coming out at the end of this month. I think it's the 27th. And World War Z.
That's
a really wide range. I mean, that's a diversity in their gaming catalogue, isn't it?
Yeah, which is also, it's counter to like current gaming trends. Current gaming trends is put all of your chips, use the gambling analogy, is putting all of your chips on one number.
Yeah, all your eggs in one basket, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Whereas if this was a gambling, I think Focus Home Entertainment just puts a little bit on everything.
Yeah, but this is the thing. They win more than they lose.
Mm-hmm.
Because
so the question of a video like this is, it's called The Rise and Rise of Focus Home Entertainment, so where does the future lead? What's next?
See, that's
do you think, anyway?
That's the thing. It's difficult to say because Focus Home have traditionally been a company that keeps its cards close to its chest. You've gone with the gambling
No, I
analogy.
don't mean I'm predicting what's going to be released. I mean just what sort of company it's going to be in the future.
I really hope they take the lessons of Ubisoft and don't go down the route of Ubisoft.
Because they've kind of become one of the big public enemies as far as gamers go, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at games like Greedfall looks really interesting as a game. All right, you have Tricon hats and fantasy kind of crossing over. It is a bizarre setting for a game, but I can see it working really well. And then you have the Surge 2, which is basically the Surge plus more snap-on items and more darkness and more of everything that made the Surge an interesting game.
Yeah, the Surge is genuinely underrated, I think. It really, really is.
And, you have Call of Cthulhu, which came out recently. You have World War Z, which is coming out soon, which I've seen interesting things about World War Z, especially about the Horde mode and stuff like that. So
the thing is, though, what I want, I don't want Focus Home Interactive to change.
Yeah,
I mean, sure, the quality of the games could be a bit more consistent, but that's completely besides the fact. It's just a company which will do stuff, will release stuff which nobody else will give the time of day.
Yeah.
I mean, just looking at the most recent things, who would give a chance to a game like Greedfall, a fantasy RPG in which it's sort of set around the time of the colonization of America?
Yeah.
Or who would give time to a game of something in the French Revolution and the Revolutionary era, where you would run around from rats as a little girl and her little brother?
I thought it was earlier than the French Revolution. It was before then. It was more medieval times.
It doesn't matter when it was. I'm just using it. It was
the time of the Black Plague, which was earlier.
Yeah. I mean, Black Plague era. Yeah. Stuff like. What the point is, though, the game set in the Black Plague.
Yeah.
Who would do that? Who gives that a chance?
The same company that does a simulation about farming with big machinery.
Yeah, I mean, they've become one of the unsung heroes as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I know they're not going to win any Game of the Year awards, but they're the sort of games company who make gaming worth it, because you can have all your big sort of tentpole things that everybody talks about, but it's like going back to the PlayStation 2 era. The PlayStation 2 was so good because there was games from all over the places and all over different styles and different genres and whatever, all over the place. And that's the mantra which Focus Home Interactive or Entertainment are playing by, and that is good for games, I think. And
Can I just...
long may their continue rise.
Can I just...
long may their rise continue, sorry.
Yeah. Can I just end this with one thing, right? And I just want to throw this out there. Having played and reviewed the Farming Simulator games, right, I can tell you they are surprisingly good and addictive games. So if you decide to try one, be prepared to lose a few hours. The other aspect, because we did mention they did a lot of the cycling manager type games and stuff like that, and I've also played those and reviewed those, and they're a lot more addictive in the way that only sports management games can be addictive.
Yeah.
And because of games like LMA Manager and stuff like that, how much time did you lose, Rob, to LMA Manager?
I don't think I could put a number to it, but let's just say thousands of hours.
Yeah. Well, Cycling Manager, Pro Cycling Manager and Tour de France 2018, I kind of lost a lot of hours to. It's not that the games were particularly graphically good or that the gameplay was really challenging. It's just there's something about those sorts of games that will hook you and keep you. And I don't know what it is. Somebody out there who does psychology could probably examine it and explain it to me.
Yeah, but on that point, I think it's a good place to end. If you have anything to add, do comment below. Otherwise, do smush that like button and click the subscribe. And thanks for watching.